Oh goodness, enjoying one of the worst seasons that God invented for some strange reason out here. This fella named Angelo Raimondi, somehow he reached out to me and he said he's got a whole bunch of stuff he wants to send up. He goes, what do you need? And this is back in the summertime, and I'm saying, well, I could go for some Lionel transformers because I have got a bunch of Lionel I want to make starter sets out of and try to get starter sets into somebody's hands so that way maybe they can get started in this fine hobby of model railroading. And he came through. This was after we weeded out the stuff that was just, you know, the little tiny starter ones from the 30s or something like that. And it's, oh, my lips are so cold, I can't hardly talk. And it's also time to make another video on rebuilding transformers. And I've got a ton of these 1033s right here. So we are gonna go ahead and take one of these and make her pretty. It's a little break from working on the locomotive end of it, but these are important too. Plus the last video I did, it hit pretty good, fixing up that ZW. So when I first start doing this, I go to the eBay and search in what I'm looking for. So I just typed in Lionel 1033 and then it starts to auto-populate and it said parts and I clicked on it and I decided to go with this particular set right here. I have a lot of 1033s, so I only ordered up 4 kits because for some reason I thought I bought them and they were like 12 bucks, but this thing here says they're 20 bucks. And short story long, I opened up one of the packets and there's absolutely no instructions in there whatsoever on where to put what at for where. Nothing. No schematics, no nothing. So I reach out and I send a message to him and I said who I am. Because I think that I have pull. Because I know like 2 people in 2 other towns around here and 1 correctional facility. Well, he didn't write me back. He never answered it or nothing. And I had to pour over some schematics so we could figure out where all these different parts are going to go in this stupid thing. And I had to figure out the directions of diodes and how you put a diode. Okay. So what I did is I practiced on 2 of them and I made sure that they worked and everything they did. And now I'm going to sit down with you guys and do this the 3rd one because it'll go a lot faster than me just trying to figure out how to do it right out of the gate. Super long intro, but hopefully it's worth it. Let's get into it. So let's pick the ugliest one to work on. These cords, they get brittle and they crack and then they're just dangerous. So we're just going to get that right out of the way. File 13. Now these, the original ones, they're good. This ones are dirty, but I'm going to keep them around in case a guy I know goes, hey, I need just one. Can you hook somebody up? We can wash those up and store them someplace, I guess. Got to use your big boy screwdriver. Got 4 Phillipses right up here. And then these binding posts, these ones are all stuck on. And the 4th one. Get in here like this, and yep, that's what they look like. This stuff here is made out of Bakelite. It can be washed, cleaned, polished, shiny. Hopefully this will come out a lot better with some soap and water into the faucet. We're going to have to clean these screws. We're not going to mess with the binding posts though. These guys, that's just going to go in the save stuff pile. So once you get in here, it's really quite straightforward. And we'll walk you through it and show you what we're doing and what's going on here and why are we doing that and everything else. These are the contacts where the whistle does its thing at. Let's see, what am I going to do? Take this. They're hard. Yeah. They're hard to do. This contact and this contact, when you go to make the whistle, and then this is the direction, interesting things, we're going to eventually want to take this top off because the circuit breaker is sitting right there. And you drag out this sheet. Here's your connections. I guess it's kind of sitting, well, it's all over the place. Here's U, A, B, C. Right down here is where your electrical cord hooks up into it at. I put the larger chisel tip on my soldering station here because we're really moving some big stuff. These 2 wires here are part of your diode and they need to go away. One out, the other one out. This wire right up on here, it is going to the circuit breaker that they put in back in the day, and they're old and they're from back in the day. And for some reason, guys don't like them. They just feel better off replacing them with what they call a fast acting one. Well, I don't know how slow this does or doesn't react, and Nobody's ever gonna, because we never test them out. So that one's out of the way. Since I want to take this top off here, I got to take this one out of the way also. And they wrap the wires around there. So you got to get the solder hot, and then you got to get in there, and then you got to unwrap these things. And I don't know if you guys notice that or not, but soldering stations that are an 80 watt station work a lot faster than a 15 watt iron when doing this stuff. It does it like right now. Over here is our diode, our disc, the thing that makes the whistle sound whistle. We need to get it out of the way. See how this is discolored? It's hot. It's been around. We're going to take an 1/8 inch drill bit, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to work this over. What that does is it gets rid of this plate that this diode was hanging on, this disc, this thing here, that makes the DC stuff. Get that out. Get this out. Lift this up just some. Get that pin out. This stuff here, it's all used for the whistle part, the old school stuff. And technology is advanced, and now we don't need to use all that. So away it's going to go. Round file. I'm going to twist these things here straight. There's 4 of them. And I'm going to get underneath here and pry this wafer board up, over and around and down. Here's the underneath of what we got going on. Right here's the circuit breaker. And oddly enough, it's only attached to the number B terminal. And that's fine because you use B and you use C for constant voltage. U and A, U is like your common. That goes to the outside rails or ground. And A is the high out and B is the lower voltage out. So when you're actually running on A, you don't have any protection from short outs. Now you don't have to cut this out. But I hate when people leave, they do modifications and then they leave the existing stuff in, and then after a while you just got stuff everywhere. It's just annoying. So I am going to carve this right here, and we're going to remove that completely. There is our circuit breaker. It looks like they can adjust it. And if this gets hot, this is supposed to open up like a blinker relay. Bimetal strip. So that's right in the round file. Now we do got some scub. Looks like there's some scub in here. They get dirty over time for sure. This one's like the dirtiest out of them all, of course. Now we're going to take out our power cables. They like the heat. Now for you sharp-eyed fellers, you can see the transformer's got power leads in there also, them thin wires. So those have got to be there. You got to get in there and see. You can see here's one, just a light hair. This one, it's attached. It's still got to stay attached. Make sure that it's attached in there. Here's our new stuff. Sans directions. New circuit breaker. New binding posts and some solderless connections that we're going to solder on because... New handles. This is a diode. New cord. It's even got the Lionel on there. Plus they pre-tinned the ends for you. Nice guys. Put a knot in it right here. About that far down. What is that? 6 inches? 7. 5.5. I'm going to bend these just some into like a kind of a partial U like this. The plug is not polarized, which means one blade is bigger than the other one. And there's no ground. So wherever these wires go, that's all. It doesn't need nothing, any extra special. Just make sure to get them in there all the way. These ones are deciding to be such a hassle, we're going to have to use some solder wick to get them out. Get a hold of them, pull them all the way in, bend them over. Because by doing that, then you're ensured that the insulation is down here by the metal and it ain't gonna create havoc for you. Then warm these things back up. This one's actually quite dirty on the inside where the other ones weren't that bad. First, I'm going to start off with this dirty toothbrush, knock the dust out. Then I'm going to get the mineral spirits and some Q-tips and clean it up, get the grease off and stuff like that. It deserves better. Since we're in here doing all this, now's the time to do it. You know, I gotta take a pause right now for what I believe to be a very important public service announcement. A couple days ago, I was busy working on stuff, cleaning up stuff, and I needed to glue a part together, and I used this glue right here on it. And it's the super thin CA glue. If you've never used it before, it pours out like water. And I managed to get it all over my fingers and glued my fingers together. 3 of them, these 3 right here. I thought it was kind of funny, so I threw it up on the Facebook page to spread this out. I got to get the word out. The little lady was at work and I did not know where she kept her fingernail polish remover. So I Googled it up and I'm looking to see what else works, and there ain't much else that'll dissolve this stuff. Don't leave me at home by myself. She thought it was funny when she got home and I told her the story. Yeah? You think it's funny?
Yes.
It hurt. Yeah. A little bit, it did. Yeah. Good times there. So try to get yourself the medium or the thicker stuff. The blue, dangerous. I've been saving that for 3 days till I can tell you that story. Now I'm throwing it away. Talking about Facebook. For all you people out there that try to friend me on Facebook under my normal profile, I don't do anything on my normal profile. I have to have a normal Ron Davis profile in order to have a business profile, which is classic model trains. So for those of you that have tried to friend me and then, you know, it's been deleted or something, don't think that I'm gunning for you or I don't like your haircut or something like that. It's just the fact that I don't post anything on that page, so there's no reason to try to come to it. Go to Facebook, Classic Model Trains. That's where I do all my posting. That's where you can share pictures and you can message and all that other stuff. Now that we got the video stopped for a little bit here, now's an excellent time to do Classic Model Trains, Classic Model of the Week. Do you guys know who this is right here? If you do, put in the comments down below. If you don't, wait until the end. I'll let you know who it is. Let's get back into fixing this 1033. Well, we got it clean and it looks like it wasn't bad. We've all seen worse, haven't we? No, that's about the worst I've ever seen. That's ick. Oh my God. For sure. Now I've got these little flapper discs here that go on the Dremel. These were sent in to me and we've been talking about them. I'll see if I can get a link in the bottom, link in the description of what they are. This is the 2000 grit one. Just to give it a little cleaning. That's what rubs across these. We're gonna get this back over here and on, and then we're gonna twist these little fellers again. That's gonna keep this whole thing together. This wire was over here. Yep. The red wire, the white wire. Now these are important. They go to stuff. This white wire is a resistance wire. If you look at your schematic, it's this wire right here. Because it's basically coming from this contact right there, coming back around. Now these contacts get dirty. So I'm gonna clean these up too. One here, one here. Then there's one underneath this right there. So one here, here, here. 3 of them up there. Looks like I missed doing the top of these. Now it's time to get our diode in. And you see, from this post, when you go to whistle, you roll this to the inside, like this. And that is going to connect this terminal to this terminal. This is whistle mode right there. So you're looking at that terminal, this rectifier has to go in with the arrow facing away from it. And if you don't know, see how this has got the line on it right there? And that also shows the arrow going away. That means that this has got to be installed leaving this area. Connects here, goes up here, and it's going to leave the area. Now I found a cute little creative way to solder these things in. Give it a 90, give it another 90, and it's going to end up being soldered in here like this. Get my fingers out of the way. This is going to come up through that hole. We're going to solder it on there. And you can see that the silver line is actually facing in the up position. A little bit of solder flux here on this dirty copper. We're going to solder the diode in here. Then this side, I'm going to bend it over and down. Make sure that this isn't touching anything. And then this red wire and this white wire, they were connected. They went up through that hole initially. I'm going to solder that whole wad together right in there. So there is our whistle diode installed. Solderless connectors, I think, are fine. But if you got a soldering iron out, let's just go ahead and solder them in. There's no reason not to. Pull that off. Then I can stick this in just a little bit. You can give it a squeeze if you're so inclined. That way you use less solder. Get in here and let the heat transfer begin. Now this is some high temp wire that I had left over from doing the ZW repair. I got it off the Amazon. People always ask me, what kind of wire stripper do you use? You know, I find when I just take the X-Acto knife and do one of these, it works just really well. We're going to get this insulated portion off of this. We're going to solder this on also. I find using this thing as a heat shield works really well. We're going to strip this end and tin it because we're going to solder it on underneath, right under here. I could put it on the top. So far, I've just found it easier just to put it under. Yes. No. Yes. Because this is the B terminal right there. So you can see it's underneath is where it's soldered at. We get our little feller here with the 3M tape. One connection here, one connection here. And stick that on the tape. Hello? Yes? No? Come on now. This transformer, the solder jobs are done inside of it. Here's this guy. I washed it up in the sink with some soap and water and a little brush. Looks like we got just some little bit of scub right there. Transformers, they're never stored well. This has got some of the clear that's on this plate coming off, but I think it's still highly readable. And I've never seen replacement plates available yet. If a person wanted to buff this, you can buff it up like you would with a big orbital buffer compound. You can make these things shine. To me, this one looks to be in really nice shape as it is. That knot was tied in right there to go in here as a strain relief. Maybe a little adjustment sometimes needs to be made, but we're going to put it in. There, that ain't creating any havoc. Put our screws back in, 4 of them. Pretty full of myself, ain't I? Normally a guy would test this before you put it all back together. But if you don't know what's what's hot and what's not in there, boy, I tell you, before you go to plug it in, seems like if you're not real certain what's going on, this seems to be the best way to do this to avoid yourself getting electrocuted. I don't want that. Put our new binding post terminals on. Black is the loud pedal. Orange is the horn. We are ready to take this, plug it in, and see what happens. I like to check my outputs, my voltage. So I've just got this set on the volt mode, and this is an auto ranging. Do remember these put out AC power. U is this one out here. This one, right? The one here that it says U on it. That goes to the outside rail. And then this one here, the next one's going to put out our highest voltage, 5 to 16 volts, but they're lying to us because it puts out 0 voltage when it's parked. Twist the wick. I got my Berkshire up over here doing his thing. 12. So we're getting 15.3 out of this one. Whistle. Firm. Loving that. Direction. Oh, okay. Direction. That is everything I could have ever wanted right there. And this one. Yep. One cleaned up transformer ready to go. And that's how you go about tuning up those 1033 transformers. They were a workhorse of the Lionel sets back in their day. Still a great transformer now. About 21 bucks to get one of these kits to do this. A little bit of time, and it'll work for another 50 years, I'm sure. Last couple videos, I forgot to put in the patriotic train set pictures that guys have been sending in. Show off their American patriotism. Let's get into this one here. This one came in from John Painters. This is his Tyco Spirit of America set from the 1975-76 era. This next one here, Paul Smith sent this one in. This is his Atlas-8-40B Spirit of USA. It's got the 91101 numbers on it. Interesting. And then another feller named Daryl Smith. I'm sure they're not related to Paul Smith. Here's his Tyco Spirit of America. Look, he's got all the same engines and a lot of rolling stock that I've got. Locos, he's got a couple of them lawsuit Tyco box cars in there. Plus, he's also got a lot of them Mantua States cars that were out. Kind of difficult to find those Mantua cars because guys are collecting them. So, of course, the prices are going up on it all. It's a true story. Tyco. Prices are going up. Better get in. Stop throwing them away because some of them are worth a lot of money. This episode here kind of sponsored by my eBay store. Guys are always wondering, how do you get to it? You type in the search bar, classic model trains. You'll see at the bottom it says eBay store. Click on that. That's going to take you to the store. It's going to look like this. That's how we're raising money for all the funds for the new studio that's going to be getting here hopefully as soon as the snow gets thawed out around here, which the way it's looking, it might be like June. Reminds me of North Dakota winters. Holy moly. Our classic model this week, Victoria Principal. Her and Bobby in that television series Dallas from back in the 80s we used to sit around and watch all the time. Do keep them patriotic pictures coming in. You can send them in email, classicmodeltrains@aol.com. I've got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 more guys that are here in the queue for their stuff that they sent in. So if you don't see it, it's coming. I've got them all saved up. We'll get him in there. A little bit of a shorter video here. Want to thank all the 33%ers that are still out with us right now. Thank you guys for all your support. And all of our channel members. I think we're up to 37 channel members now. Absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I'm Ron with Classic Model Trains. Bye-bye.